submitted for your approval. A fan-based show who encompasses the multi-twined multiverse of superheroes, villains, sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and action comedy. All whose genesis stems from the printed page of the comic book. At the logo streaming towards your head, you've just entered into comics, cons, and beyond. Welcome back, comic book fans, to Comics, Cons, and Beyond. Always glad to have you, of course. With me, as usual, my partners in crime, we have
Bob,
Adam,
and we start off with the news that you can use for comic book to screen shenanigans. That's right, we had some issues, as you remember from last time, that the director of the original Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds kind of had a falling out over casting and what have you. Well, guess what, gang? We found our new director. That is right, David Leitch, the genius behind John Wick and the upcoming John Wick 2. Also, V for Vendetta.
so excited.
See?
Well, it's like John Wick 2. Did not expect the movie to be nearly as good as it was. I expected it to just be like, oh, I wish I was Neo still. And no, actually, it was this interesting character who's just as emo and kind of mopey about it. But still, he had reason to be. And
well,
also,
you kill somebody's dog, man. That just
Yeah,
you don't kill somebody's dog.
It was like he ran over someone's dog. It was like that guy went into his house specifically to murder his dog. Like,
And what did the dog ever do to him? Did he take away his Alpo? Did he take away his chuck wagon? What the hell did the dog do?
he didn't pee in his car. That's for damn sure. That was a nice car.
Well, there you go. You don't pee in a man's car, but you don't kill a man's dog. It just goes against everything that's American. You don't kill a man's freaking dog. That's the end of it.
Is that just we should make
America.
t-shirts.
That's gonna be right
That's
underneath.
America.
Right on the Statue of Liberty.
That's
Don't
right.
kill dogs.
Give us your tired, give us your poor, give us your sick,
But
and
don't-
don't kill a man's freaking dog.
There's a picture of John Wick next to it. He's just watch this movie in
Bent
orientation.
over.
You killed my dog, dude. Now I'm gonna blow you the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding. And V for Vendetta. Actually, you have perused V for Vendetta, the
Oh,
graphic novel. So another comic book to screen adaptation that I thought was freaking phenomenal. You had some thoughts on that when I asked you originally on that.
I have to say something. First of all, I'm sorry I did not read the comic book initially before the movie. I know I'm a poser. Same thing for Watchmen. I'm sorry, but I'm happy. I'm happy he's with me now in my person. But I have to say, V for Vendetta, they went for a different dynamic of I don't want to say his motivation in the film. He was much more vengeance motivated. In the comic book, he was kind of trying to even the score. Like, he didn't see it even as killing. He saw as balancing the scales. And honestly, each character before their death kind of agreed with him, which was fascinating. And it was kind of an interesting allegory, especially because it's an allegory of like complete control. I won't say extreme right wing, but I would like to say, let's just go with the idea.
Can we buy a
of,
vowel?
Yes.
Okay. E.
V? Oh wait, that's not how.
That's a consonant.
But definitely, I did dig the movie, and I thought the casting was perfect. And the voice, after watching the film, the voice of that actor was so good. That's what I heard in the comic. So I definitely liked the casting, just the presentation of the whole film.
I just couldn't
They didn't
believe that
shot
it
that
was
much.
the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And
Hugo
also from
Weaving.
The Matrix,
Yep.
Mr. Smith. That's right. Yeah.
What's fascinating about him is he is an opera singer. That's part of his career.
Get
So
outta
I think I
here.
remember saying that.
he has a problem with projecting when he's on set. Like, dude, we have sound mics. It's fine. Just tone it down a notch.
Was he actually
Oh,
under
okay.
the suit though?
Hmm?
Did they ever wind up?
I know.
I think, yeah.
for some
Yeah,
of the
no,
shots,
he
yes.
was. Yeah,
A
well,
lot.
of course, you can have stunt doubles,
Hugo
but,
Weaving
you know.
is on point, man.
Yeah. Especially the shots where you don't get to see his legs, because he's not as tall as they made V in the
What
film.
was,
Yeah.
what was he, like a marionette? They kind of had the legs.
Well, I
together.
think most actors are
so
generally
you
pretty
think out of the Matrix
pretty
sometimes.
small, right? I think
Yeah.
they said that like Tom Cruise, and don't quote me on this, is like 5'5" or something ridiculous. So
Don't judge me.
Oh, Tom
I'm
Cruise, crazy.
sorry, Tom Cruise. We like you, man. We think you're a good guy.
I actually liked Oblivion a lot. This is a side note, sorry.
I know, sorry. We're getting off topic. But also in comic book to screen adaptations, comic book to screen shenanigans, we have the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming trailer that will be shown with Star Wars Rogue One. That's right. Coming in theaters on Friday, December 16th. So if you're one of those lucky people to be the first to see it, guess what? You're going to be seeing the trailer of Spider-Man Homecoming. Awesome, awesome stuff.
yep. As well, Marvel wound up releasing that they're going to show in September of 2017 a 2-episode IMAX feature for Inhumans, which is going to be kind of interesting to see where they place that in the Marvel Universe as well. And then obviously it's going to come to television, to ABC, so that all of you out there can see it consistently, much like streaming, but on actual TV.
Yeah, again, we were discussing this. It's interesting because ABC, and I understand the business portion of it. You want to have a broader audience in which to show, your product.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because ABC Studios has teamed with Marvel Studios for Luke Cage, which obviously was streaming on Netflix, and second season's going to be coming up probably 2017. We're looking forward to that. But they're going to do the Inhumans, which is a darker kind of comic series on ABC. And for me, network television, you can only do so much. So it's interesting for me, even though Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on ABC and they're going to try to tie that together or whatever, I thought it would have been better placed as a part of the Netflix Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, I think Adam and me discussed this earlier, that the Inhumans, I feel, is kind of their response to not being able to necessarily utilize X-Men, because they kind of may have some disputes with that. But that kind of incorporates the whole where they're going to tie it in, because a lot of people are concerned that they knew that it was going to be later on that they were going to incorporate Inhumans, but I think a lot of us kind of thought that it was going to be past the whole Infinity event with Thanos.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if it's maybe too rushed, or if they can kind of just squeeze it in there right underneath the radar right in time for Thanos. So, and then we'll even see if they wind up incorporating some of these actors or these roles into the actual event. So
yeah. And that, if we have nothing else for comic book to screen shenanigans,
no? Pretty dry week this week.
Pretty
folks.
dry week. But that will lead us into the lightning round of rants and raves. We're going to talk more about the not so playing nice and trying to get our favorite characters in one spot. Bob, what do you think with ABC teaming up with Marvel, aka Disney, and Sony and Fox still holding the license for a lot of the characters and not being able to? I know, Spider-Man.
Just let him be free. Just let him roam.
Just go roam. Be free. Swing.
Well, I mean, it's going to be. It seems like they still have a lot to incorporate, and I feel with a lot of this coming up here in this next year, we have the Infinity event. We have obviously they're going to have a Spider-Man movie again. We know that Black Panther is going to come out.
Yeah.
They've got it slotted. I mean, they've got the decent amount of films to show. I think what really comes down to a lot of our minds is it maybe too much? Is it just enough? Or oversaturation, but also, are they going to be able to portray these people in the amount of time? Because looking back, I know that we did wind up giving Doctor Strange 8.5 across the board for the most part, and an 8.
I tried to meet him halfway. I started off in whatever.
But after speaking with Mike, there are some things. Mike being the owner
of Yesteryear Comics, where we're filming.
I discussed it with him, and there are some valid points. There was the kind of a lot of fans feel like they kind of relied on a Star Wars Iron Man feel to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dispute with that. A lot of people feel like the music score for it was a little bit Star Trek-y.
I don't remember any of the scoring at all. That's how lackluster that part of it was.
I'm not going to lie, I have a hard time focusing on everything simultaneously, but that's maybe why I don't make the greatest critique when it comes down to movies. I did enjoy it. I mean, overall, that was my takeaway from it, but there are critiques out there, and they're not invalid critiques. He had stated, and I didn't even really think about it at the time, that they kind of threw everything up front. You kind of knew from that first scene.
Yeah, it was just get go.
Yeah, what to kind of expect.
Let's go. Magic.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was definitely rushed too much. And again, for me, the only thing I didn't like about it is Doctor Strange's character reminded me too much of Tony Stark. Yes, I know he was a very brilliant neurosurgeon, incredibly gifted, one of the top leading ones, worldwide renowned, and had a cockiness to him. But again, he was more of a serious, intense character. And that's, even though I enjoyed it, it was fun for what it was. I just wanted it to be truer to the character.
Makes sense. I think the one thing that I brought up, now that I look back on it, and I'm not going to take
Having your regrets on your 8.5?
No, I'm not going to take back the 8.5. I'm not going to take back the 8.5. The one thing that I did kind of think back on was why there only seems to be like 20 people.
Yeah, you have your ancient order for a couple thousand years.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to be
You'd have
defending
more
all
than
these
6
people.
guys in London.
Well, if you're an ancient and you don't get out much, how are you supposed to get laid? You can't procreate without getting laid.
I'm pretty sure that when it
Polymorph.
comes
Polymorph that couch and make a friend.
Oh, there you go.
magic,
Ooh.
I mean, I don't want to open that book up, but
You already did, Bob.
what can I say?
Well, with the Inhumans now, the Inhumans, and somebody said something, I don't know how true it is, they're trying to steer away because, again, with the licensing and rights of calling them mutants.
Well, yeah, they're not technically
They're not mutants.
They're like, whatchamacallit, they use that gas to be able to become
The
mutants.
Terrigen Mist.
Yeah, and they spend most of their time on the moon, which is what fascinates me about the possibility of the series, is they spend a good portion of the time on the moon avoiding, the BS of mankind.
They have their own, the city of Attilan, and they live there. And basically, what happened is it crashes in, I want to say, Manhattan or the harbor, New York.
You gotta have it somewhere that's densely populated because you gotta have superheroes in just one spot. There's no superheroes in Idaho.
But I think that, and
I know, right?
you can kind of see with this.
Kansas, Superman.
He dipped out of that place the first chance he got.
And-
He immediately became a poser and we're gonna hang out with the cool kids in New York instead of
Metropolis.
stay home.
Metropolis,
Yeah,
again,
whatever.
DC never claimed to name the cities and the states of what they were supposed to be. Countries, yes, but
There's a statue in the front of the city with someone's face on it. That's New York.
yeah.
How many other cities? But no, I can't.
Well,
think of it.
Gotham is Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta say it's Chicago.
Chicago.
It makes me feel better inside. But sorry, I interrupted your rant with absolute nonsense. Please excuse me. Please speak logic.
No. Are you
To us.
finished? Are you finished?
Just a little bit more. Why?
Oh, by all means.
Well,
Yeah, no,
okay.
continue.
Continue. Okay.
Please continue.
I understand the concept of Superman and Batman become friends, but why on earth, after they build
Martha.
the Justice League, why on earth would anyone even lift a hand? If you have just this huge network of Superman to get everything done on time, I'm saying, yeah, I know you need a personal life, but no, you don't, because you're kind of this immortal god that doesn't need sleep or have any frailty of any other creature on earth.
Bizarro.
Bizarro.
Bizarro
That's
Crash.
all I gotta say. You're wrong.
All I have to say is Bizarro.
That's all you need to
That's
say.
all. That's all I have to say.
So
There we go. So the Inhumans
Yeah, back
were.
Content.
We got off topic there. The Inhumans. Okay, so the Inhumans weren't true mutants.
No.
Were they a specific race?
They were a group of people, and if you kind of get involved in the current stuff, which is kind of why I feel like Disney has had their hands in it. I'm not going to
We did.
dive too deep into it, but they have a particular gene that allows them to accept the Terrigen Mist and turns them into basically mutants.
Okay.
They all have abilities. Kind of what's going on with the Civil War II is, for example, they found one of them gains the ability to see into the future cataclysmic events, and a lot of them. There's a tear between the Marvel Universe, the heroes, whether or not they should utilize that to kind of, minority report it and stop it before it happens. But then you kind of get the conflict of, they're getting images of other heroes killing other heroes, and them not believing that, and whether or not it's actually justified, kind of thing. So it continues, and I'm not going to ruin anything for you, beyond the fact that obviously we know Iron Man is not going to be in the new comic books for Iron Man.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you'll have to read it to find out.
Reading is hard.
But the first issue is fantastic for the amount of things that you can cram into one comic book. Like it doesn't have a boring portion to it. It's a shock factor for sure. But in regards to the Inhumans thing,
Yes.
coming to ABC. Yeah,
Because
So on
that's what
point.
we were talking
because
about
that's what we were.
before Adam was so rude and got us off topic.
The fear is that
Adam.
for me, there is a lot of concern whether or not they can attempt a task that large. I mean, I would think that for the most part they would try and attempt to focus on maybe the royal family of the Inhumans to start with, and then kind of go out from that. Yeah. Obviously, we know that Black Bolt's going to have an integral role if they wind up utilizing him in the MCU because he's part of the Illuminati. And those are major roles.
Yeah.
But maybe for right now, I would think focus small and then work out. I mean, we have all the Inhumans, and we can kind of go a lot of places with them, but we have to have backstory, and they can do that with TV. So don't rush it. Take your time, because we all want to see these characters come to life.
But do you think it's an offering that will work good with ABC, or do you think that they should have gone the route of Netflix, even though, again, going to ABC opens up, still widens up the market share for network television for that audience? With that type of storyline, do you think it's going to work if they can do it properly, of course?
I think with what they're working with, I'm not going to say that I know all the X's and Y's of the equation, but we know that ABC is established. Netflix is not to say that they're not used to this, but usually when they take on a task like Luke Cage, Daredevil,
Jessica Jones,
all the
then we have Iron Fist coming.
There's time set aside for them. They work on one, they move on to the next. They work on one, they move on to the next. I think that if they're going to wind up lending a lot of this work to be done to ABC, it actually might be in their best benefit, because they might be able to get it fast enough out that they can incorporate it, because it's got to get enough steam right now, and we've got our plates full with a lot of what's going on right now. A lot of us want to see Black Panther. A lot of us want to see what happens with Spider-Man. If they were to do a 12-episode thing on Netflix, it would have to be dedicated, and I feel like that'd be taking away from Iron Fist, Defenders, and they don't need that right now, because they already have that plan. The more they put into just one factor and they put all that work on that people, they're going to get taxed, and I think they're going to wind up running into a lot of what DC's running into right now, is that given the time constraints and the story that they want to tell, a lot of people feel like it's too much to take on too fast. So it's just really taxing to a lot of people.
Yeah, good point. It's going to be interesting to see what happens once it does come, actually, after the IMAX introduction in theaters, of course, then coming back to network television, ABC. It's going to be interesting. Again, we want to hear what you folks think, the fans, any of you folks who are especially big Inhuman fans who have read all the issues and grew up in saying Inhumans are your gig. Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts. Will it be good on ABC? Should they go to Netflix? Let us know. That is it, I think, for the rants and raves for this week. We're done. But we are going to pass it over to Jeremy in the gamers realm, because he's got some gaming news. Guess what? For you. Take it away, Jeremy.
Thanks for the intro, guys, and welcome to Gamers Realm. I'm Jeremy Gibbs for Comic Cons and Beyond. Let's get straight into the news. Anyways, first off, Image Comics and Mortal Kombat characters they're thinking about coming into Injustice 2. And if you don't know what Injustice 2 is, what the hell is wrong with you? Anyways, Ed Boon's Twitter poll included two surveys. One about what Mortal Kombat characters would you like to see in Injustice 2, as well as the Image Comics. So just like Spawn, huge one. That's what I'm rooting for. I voted for that. Hope you voted for that. What the hell's wrong with you if you didn't? Anyways, in the League Champion news, we have a brand new character that was introduced through the League Comics, Camille Severed Ties. A new champion from Zon, the same realm as Echo, is coming in with a kit that's very assassin-like, very cold killer. Really an awesome comic. If you haven't checked it out, go to League of Legends comics and check it out. It's insane. Her kit is going to involve a lot of things about her legs, because she has grappling hooks on both sides of her waist, as well as her legs are blades. So we'll see how that is. I hope it's a jungler, because it looks like she can do a lot of ganking and a lot of kiting. So I'm looking forward to that. Pokemon Sun and Moon has just released, so get that soon. I'm going for Sun, and if you don't know what Pokemon Sun and Moon is, it's the latest addition into the Pokemon franchise, including... So bad. I just got flipped off. Thanks. I guess not a big fan of Sun and Moon. But Pokemon Sun and Moon will include new combat systems, such as Z-Moves, which is going to be an alternative to Mega Evolutions from the last couple games, from X and Y and Omega Red and Alpha Sapphire. I loved X and Y. For the Sun and Moon, you're going to have Pokemon Trials instead of Pokemon Gym Battles, which I know it's kind of weird. I don't know how that's going to go, but I kind of like the new change. Anyways, going on to more of the Blizzard news, Chris Metzen, one of the developers for many of the projects from Blizzard, such as World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, has sadly left the company after 23 years due to a lot of health issues. With a new baby that was just conceived, as well as his panic attacks increasing, his wife kind of forced him to leave the company and to retire. We'll always miss his work, and I can't wait for the future of Blizzard. Anyways, that's it for Gamers Realm. Hope to see you guys in the next episode, and back to my dad and everyone else. See ya.
Rebuttal for Bob.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, that was awesome. Thanks for that news. And as always, folks, let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to report on, because we are here for you. We're your support unit. There's a lot of love here. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, leave comments and tell a friend. For all of us here at Gamers Realm, I'm Lawrence.
Bob. Adam.
And Jeremy's somewhere over there. That's it for us. Have a happy